Like, let's just start off on how we met. That'd be cool. Um,
Yeah.
so we met at the Agape Center.
Yes.
And what I found really cool about you is that when I was talking to you, like you were very about like your mission, your purpose to sharing your music at the time. So
Okay. Yeah.
I think so. What happened is that you had your soundtrack and you had your music, and I noticed that your energy or your intention was like not on the conversation at all, which is fine, which is beautiful. And you're like,
I'm so sorry.
no, it was hilarious. And then you saw, I think his name is Michael. Is that his name?
Oh
Beckwith?
yeah, Michael. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Michael, it was the owner of the Agape Center, and you were like, oh my gosh, she's there. I gotta like share my music, like because the soundtracks that you have are amazing. Like it was, I think you had the Chakra album at that time,
Yeah.
which was.
Yeah.
I have like a definite curiosity about it because the way your songs are very, like, I don't know how you do it, but you tune into like a very specific frequency for every single song that you do, and you could intuitively detect it. And like probably on some level, like the only way that I've seen myself been able to do that is I'm just allowing the manifestation, the flow to happen. So I'm curious as to your process, as to like how you go about that. But anyways, we met there, and then what I really love about you is that about like a year later, when I was like sharing about my shadows on Instagram, you just literally just reached out to me, and you gave a very accepting and like compassionate answer, and you're like rewarding my level of authenticity, and I found that to be just so. And not only like I just found, because every time a person, like, it's so moving when a person's capable of doing that, because the mind is very stuck on the idea that you're gonna get disapproval for doing this, and to get that kind of love back, and not only that, and not to be gender identified, but it is different when there, like, a woman is capable of even accepting those areas, because in society, the initial response for the typical woman is like, oh, that guy might be a creep, that guy might be a murderer, and all that stuff, right? And like there's all these general assumptions about men at the start, but for a woman to get past that barrier and to almost have a level of acceptance and compassion for areas that would be considered creepy. I found that to be very moving. Wow. Yeah.
That's so.
Thanks to hear your perspective of those
Yeah.
moments. Like, they happen so fast, but it's interesting to, like, you don't even think about your effect on people if you say hi in a certain way or do something. But just, I don't know, the moment I met you, I think it was outside the bathroom at Agape. I was waiting for my husband to go to the bathroom, and you were just, I don't know, we were both just hanging out there. And I don't know, you mentioned that I was like shining or something. I don't know, there was a way, it just felt like fun.
Did I?
Like
I don't
but
even
like it felt like a fun friendship moment, and I was just like, let's just stay in touch. Like, this guy seems cool. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I just remember you started posting some they felt very like epic and beautiful videos, and I saw what your intention was. It felt very interesting and heartwarming, and I don't even remember what I said to you, but I do remember that's the kind
It
of
was
stuff you
hella
like.
heartwarming. It was so heartwarming. Like it was like, it was such a deep sense of acceptance, and I was genuinely excited out of my seat. And then that's when I was like, when I got that heartwarming comment, I felt deeper with your music, because what happens is that what I love about smaller music businesses and stuff, or I don't even know if you want to call it a business, but what I love about smaller music businesses and stuff is that, like, it's less disconnected, and like the fact that it was like when I heard your music, I heard like a human behind it, So I just remember that loving memory, and then I was able to just connect way deeper with your music and stuff. Because usually, typically, when you hear music, it's just like you just hear the music, and there's still like a sense of disconnection with it. But I was able to really feel you as a human, because it was like, oh my gosh, like if this woman is very capable of loving the shadows of people, like I could just imagine the music that she's creating. And like literally, and you get comments affirming this all the time. But you know, I'll just be that, you know, 1 billion affirmation, right? Where your music does have an energetic frequency that is so healing, and it feels calm. Like you actually feel calmer. And I'm seeing people literally meditate to your music. Like I'm just so like, I'm like, how did you manifest that? That's nuts. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh. So
That's so
awesome to hear it reflected back how it's affecting you.
yeah.
Sorry, there's definitely a garbage truck.
How dare you?
But you know, it's just, I think the whole music and my career, the whole thing has been one giant spiritual journey. And I think this project specifically, because I've been a songwriter in my career for the last 10 years, and I used to work in record labels and on the business side. So I've had a very long music career. And just in the last 2 years was like, I'm on my own personal spiritual journey. Why can't I express this craft and skill through my spiritual practice? And that's really where this whole brand started. And I think that's why you're connecting in that way, because it really is my real transformation, spiritually projected or conveyed through these concepts like astrology and chakras. And so it's kind of like I built up that skill of pop songwriting and connecting in that way, but I'm expressing it in a very different outlet. So you're probably feeling the hybrid of that.
Yeah. There's such, oh my gosh, the amount of wisdom that is contained in that music is absolutely phenomenal and stuff. And I really like it. It just it's a reflection of your own journey and your own transformation, as you say. And I actually want to go a little bit deeper into that. What was the process like? What was like the biggest lessons? What is the biggest loves? What is like, what is it that I can't even just go. I can't even go longer with this now.
sure.
Yeah. I mean, the one that's been on my mind the most is this astrology album. That's my current album. We can go into the chakra one later if you want, but
Of course.
The concept, I mean, I've always loved astrology since high school. I started getting into it because I just thought it was a beautiful way to like really a lens to see people and celebrate different personalities and different people. And so I don't even know when I had the idea. I really like making concept albums because I love psychology and spirituality. So I was like, I think I can write a song for each of these astrological signs.
Yeah.
I like giving myself these kind of challenges, creative challenges too. And so I already knew a lot about astrology, but I took on the challenge of learning a lot about each sign. So I really did a deep dive into each one by reading stuff, but also by like looking at my friends and family in my life and being like, ooh, those three people are Aries, and that person is an Aries. Like, and then I'm just kind of looking at them collectively, like they really do have this kind of Aries energy. So what is like the main message of that zodiac, and how do I express that through song? And I think the most powerful thing too is like we can read a lot about astrology and like read horoscopes and stuff, and that's beautiful, but I wanted to like take it one layer deeper. Like, how do you actually feel the sign? Because we're humans and we're complex and we feel stuff. So I think the spiritual journey too is sometimes best understood when it's embodied instead of mental. So I wanted to, how do you capture the theme of Aries or Gemini and put it in a song so you can feel it? And then I guess the first intention was just, I would love to make every person a theme song, but there's billions of people. How do you make everyone, you could categorize them into 12 kind of categories, so at least everyone walks away with like, this is my song.
Yeah.
And like, I'm here in life and I feel amazing, and yeah, I resonate with this. And like the response so far, like that was my intention, and I was hoping that that would come across, and I do think it really has, because people have come out of the woodworks and is like, oh my god, this is me, like how did you do that? And
Yeah.
so I think it's really the research and the intuition combined with the skills of that I've worked on for a long time. So it's just the hybrid of all of that. I think it's translating beautifully, and it's really, really fun to make.
Yeah.
It's like been the most fun thing to make ever. I do it all with my husband, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
We're music partners. Like we've both worked with so many people, like other collaborators, but at the end of the day, we've just like come back to each other. We pretty much do everything together now because we're married. So we have that kind of like, that's another element to why I feel like the music's powerful, because it has that like our love, and we have a really special relationship where we're just like, we're definitely soulmates, like just best friends every day.
Yeah.
There's like no tension between us ever. And we've been married 5 years as
No tension whatsoever?
like, I don't even know, like people don't even believe me, but there just isn't, like, I don't know, we're not like
Well,
the
that kind of makes
normal,
sense. That kind of
we're
does.
not the normal relationship. I mean, we've actually been together for like 10 years, maybe 12 years. Like, I don't know, I met him when I was 18. And yeah, so it's just kind of, we've
Wow.
always
No,
been
what
like
I love.
BFFs. And
Yeah.
then we got married. It's just that kind of feeling. And then we make music, so it just feels amazing.
Oh my God. I love the story when how you guys came together. Like I was scrolling through Instagram and then I saw like the story on how you guys came together and you
Oh,
actually
I don't
serenaded
even remember
him.
what I said.
You
Oh
serenaded
yeah.
him. You
Oh
remember?
yeah.
You serenaded it. I was like, damn. Oh my
Oh
God. You want
yeah.
to go like a little bit
I
into
forgot I
that?
shared that. Yeah, I forgot I shared that story.
Yeah, 'cause you're like going through like it was so crazy. You're going through like this heavy energy, and then you were originally gonna do a song about like how you're like not attached or something like that, or just some kind of like kind of irritation kind of song to kind of ventilate your emotions. But then
Yeah.
you completely switched into a love frequency, like a very soft frequency, and you serenaded the
Mm.
oh my God.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I haven't thought about it in a long time, but it has a lot of spiritual messages within it. But yeah, so we were both like dating somebody else. Like I had a high school sweetheart, he had a high school sweetheart. This was the first year of college where everything's new and stuff. And then we were just friends, like honestly just friends for like a year or so. But I was feeling the feelings creeping up, and I think he was too, but we were never saying anything. And then it was getting too much for me, and the other relationship just wasn't working out. So we broke up. And I was kind of wondering if he would do the same. But then like he decided to not break up with her. And then, so I had all this anger and feeling like, oh, I really thought he was gonna like be single. And like, I don't know, I remember like going back to my parents' house, like my whole, like, I was like just so upset because I was like, I thought this guy was the one, but maybe he's gonna be with her. It was that whole thing. And then I had not even written a song before. This was literally the beginning of my songwriting, was this like
Whoa.
trigger. And
Whoa.
like, so I was like, I think I can write a song, because I was in school for audio engineering. So I was like thinking I was going to go more on the business side and like tech side of things.
Mhm.
I was just like on the guitar writing really terrible, like it didn't even feel good to like write from that anger place. I think some people like writing that way, but it just wasn't like working for me. And I was like, wait, I'm gonna actually write. What if I wrote a song
Yeah.
about how much I loved him, and then
Yeah.
I shared it with him?
Yeah.
Like, then I think he would know how much he means to me as a friend and like a human. And so I took that route. And then I did a few days later, I was like, I wrote a song for you. I don't know what's going on with you and your relationship, but I at least need to tell you how I feel. It was like, I was so nervous. I didn't even know what he was going to say. And then I sang it to him. And then pretty soon after he kind of fizzled out with that, and we kind of
Oh, did he like
together.
just that? Like, do you remember the reaction that he had when when you serenaded? You fizzled, right? Is that what you said?
Fizzled?
Wait,
No, I
like,
didn't say that.
what
I
was his
like that word.
reaction, yo?
Yeah, I like that word, fizzled. Yeah, it was like, I
He
don't
just
know.
dissolved into your love. Like, is that what happened?
I think we actually both cried. I don't know. I just felt like
Oh my.
we both like knew we were soulmates like right
Yeah.
away. I think it was just trying to figure out like how to get together in the right way and at what time. I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, I deeply relate with you because, there's always those periods where like you question like the relationship, like, is this really like my soulmate and stuff? But I noticed there's an energy to it. And also Tony Robbins pointed it out, like, stop questioning it. Just let that story go because that's just a story. That's a story of like being identified with the person and all that stuff. And when we let go of
Yeah.
the story, we allow that flow and that natural unfolding to happen. And you just allow yourself to just be with that person. Like stop, like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I relate with that. I relate with that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing that back up. Like you don't I haven't thought about that in a long
yeah,
time, but it's fun to think about the entire relationship and how it's unfolded.
yeah. And I like it's so awesome that there's an alignment with you and Matt, right? His name's
Mhm.
Matt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, because he's a music producer and then you do music and then
Mhm.
it's that's crazy to have a relationship like that. Like
Yeah.
not a lot of people could get that in a way.
That's true. Yeah, we kind of we were both in that same program of audio engineering, and we both kind of specialized, ended up
Yeah.
specializing in the opposite thing, which is perfect because then we work
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
better. Because he writes too, and I produce too, but yeah, we
Yeah.
ebb and flow with the
Yeah.
process.
I
Um,
heard okay, go.
oh,
Okay.
go
Okay.
ahead.
I heard you sang at the Chopra Center. You did a concert at the Chopra Center too, along
Oh
with the wild.
yeah,
How's that?
yeah. That was that last year? I don't even know like what year time it is
So many
anymore
years ago.
with
I'm
all
like,
this
I'm not
stuff.
even talking about your astrology thing anymore. Actually, let me go back to the astrology
Yeah.
thing real quick. I'm
Oh, yeah.
like what I find fascinating about your album is that I'm actually not like the hugest proponent of astrology, like
Uh-huh.
at all. I'm like not at all. And usually when I think of astrology, I think there was like this quote by David R. Hawkins where he was speaking about how the stars, like usually the
Mhm.
way that the stars are formed, we're generally in astrology, we're looking at the XY dimension of it, where it's just like the
Mm.
flatness, but we're not looking at the light years apart in the Z depth and all that stuff.
Mm.
But despite
Interesting.
like that idea kind of, and I read a lot of Carl Jung is actually into astrology in his like synchronicity book, but for instance,
Yeah.
which was crazy, but like in his collective unconscious book, he was kind of there was not a complete dismissal, but he was kind of putting it into like in a sort of rationality. But despite that,
Mhm.
like there is an energy that I am noticing in your album, and it's compelling and it's moving. So even, non-astrology people, like I still see
Mhm.
a lot of depth. Like you don't need to be into astrology to see the depth. And
Right.
like you're talking about mirrors, like you are my mirror. You're talking about, like having like a self-assertion of like your recent song about lions and stuff. It's you're asserting your sense of self-esteem again. Like these are
Yeah.
very universal, powerful ideas. Oh, the rebel one was pretty crazy. Like you did that at the perfect time too. That's crazy because
Oh
everybody
yeah.
in that very like anger kind of energy, and that kind of not anger but kind of a standing up energy, right?
Yeah, for
So
sure. Oh
wow,
man. Yeah, you're bringing up so many important things. I have so much to say.
yeah, yes,
Okay, where do I start? You were just okay. Well, first of all, there's also this thing called astrology seasons, which I just became aware of like a year ago.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's actually a big thing on Instagram that people are always talking about. Like now it's Leo season, now it's follow season.
Yeah.
And I started tapping into that last year while I was like kind of exploring all this. But you can actually take the theme of what each sign means and apply it to the month that we're in. And it actually, that energy applies to everyone, like
Really?
regardless of what sign you are. So like currently we're in Leo season, and that means everyone collectively is affected by this more like brave sunshine energy.
Whoa.
And so you can look at this on multiple levels, like everyone collectively is experiencing, because we're all one thing at a macro level. So collectively we're experiencing the cycle of astrology and individually on a deeper level. So that's been another response I'm beginning with the music, is like even people that aren't an Aries sign, they're like, oh my God, it's Aries season. And I do feel that. I feel this need to like stand up and go through this challenge of quarantine and the coronavirus. And this is helping me through the day. And so I don't know, it's been beautiful, like you said, with the universality of the messages, whether you do take it on as like, this is my personality sign, or I just love this album to get through this year, because people are looking at it as like, okay, now we're in the brave season. I'm going to be more brave in my life. And like, what's next, you know? And yeah. And then I'm learning as we go too, like the Gemini song is called Through My Eyes, and it's about like seeing things from different perspectives. And I was just like, it's
That
very
one's my favorite.
interesting. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm actually Gemini too.
Oh,
my sun sign.
no wonder I felt it.
Yeah. But like that was the time of Black Lives Matter, when all of that was happening and everyone was asking each other to see through a different lens, like stand in my shoes for a second and see what life is like. And so I'm like, this is interesting. Maybe there is something to the astrological seasons that collectively, as we all evolve together, we can look at that as like a little bit of a guide.
Absolutely.
I don't know, it's so interesting to me, and I'm learning as we go, really. But and then also you said the you don't have to be into astrology to get the songs. That's like something that's a part of my craft that I've worked on so hard, and that is the most exciting part of writing to me, is that like a pop song doesn't have very many words in it. Like if you really look at the lyrics, like there's not many words, so it's always a challenge of what are the most important words and what is the melody for those important words. And it's like a carving down of the crap. You're always removing, or if I have a line, it's kind of like, this is almost the line, but you know, it's a lot of attention to the simplicity of each line. And I'm always thinking, what will resonate? What's the most universally understood line? Like, I don't want to get too complicated, too heavy. It's always, and once I find that spot, like sometimes it happens very quickly and sometimes it takes longer, but there's a feeling I get when I'm like, there it is. Like, this is the most simple way to say this deep, complex message. And like, that feels like that's the best feeling for me. And that's what I get every time I write a song, when I know it's done. I'm like, this is it.
No, I relate so deeply, because when you're writing, like even when writing a book, like I'm writing a book right now.
Oh,
And
that's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Not amazing. Thank you. I'll receive it. Like I'm writing a book right now, and you go through the same process. Like, how can I, because what happens is like in your mind, it's like super deep sometimes. And how do I articulate this in a very simple format where it's understandable, easily consumable? Sometimes I'll even go on like these writing apps where I want to make sure that I'm writing at a 5th grade level.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So
there's apps for that.
Yeah, they have like, it's called the Hemingway app. And Hemingway app and all that stuff. And also, no, like there's a much deeper idea with simplicity, because like spirituality is, supposed to be simple. It's not, it's like once it becomes complex, it's like mind identified. Not saying that people that like Carl Jung, he writes in a very complex manner and all that stuff. So he's still very deep. But I remember there was this guy, I really love David R. Hawkins. He would write like in his earlier books, they were so complex. It was literally like a professor talking, like the average person could not process it. But in his very
Right.
last book, it was so simplified. And that simplification allowed a person to just be moved and stuff. So,
Mm.
um,
That's so beautiful. I'm a huge fan of simplicity. There's a book that I love. I cannot remember the name. It's written by like the head marketing person at Apple,
mhm.
because Apple's whole thing is very, everything they do is so based on simplicity. I think it's I'll look it up and send it to you, but I think it's like The Art of Simplicity or something. But it's like I just love this freaking book. It just like tells exactly the Apple philosophy and the perfection and power of simplicity, of getting everything to that one line or to that one simple chapter or whatever it is, but to not complexify an already complex world.
Hmm. So what was like the biggest hurdle that you had to go through when creating the album? I love how you're like you're trying to make it simple and then you're almost like tuning into a particular frequency when doing it. And what that probably looks like, I would assume would be you kind of going energetically inside of your body and then when you vocalize that energy is being presented. Is that how it looks like when you're tuning into a particular
Mm.
for lyrics, or is it a different process?
Let's see. So I always start songs with a title. So when I'm doing like my research about what the sign should be called, I'm kind of scanning as I'm reading or like looking at friends. I'm like, what is the theme? What's the title? And once I nail down, like, yes, that is the heart of what this represents, kind of work backwards from there. And yeah, I think everyone's process is different, but I actually in that moment I'm like, okay, I never sit down and then I'm like, I'm gonna now write the chorus for this title. I actually have to go about my life and let it come to me.
Oh, I see.
um
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like kind of like a, you have to trick yourself. So I'll be like, okay, there's the title, I'm gonna go watch TV and it will probably come to me like as the commercial is like, it's really like you have to get out of the way.
Mhm.
um but I've got good at like making that process happen pretty fast, so it's kind of like some at some point today the chorus will come. That's kind of how I go, and then it comes in my head. I record it in a voice memo,
Mhm.
and then I kind of get like the whole shape of the song melodically of where it's going to go.
Yeah.
And that whole process is a very like um gotta let it kind of come to you. But
Yeah.
sometimes that will be like 30 minutes, sometimes it's like a day.
Uh,
And then I sit down after I have the whole shape of the song, and that's when I really work out the lyrics of what is happening.
mm,
Um, and then when I go to sing the song, that's when I really put on the character, almost like an actor
mm,
of the sign's energy.
mm.
Um, but it feels very authentic at the same time, because the more I've learned about this astrology stuff is every person pretty much is made up of every sign. If you really like look up your birth chart, it's like, oh, my moon is in this and my Jupiter's in this and my sun's in this. So
Oh,
like,
wait, repeat that. Repeat that real quick. Every person is almost made up of like every sign.
yeah, yeah, for the most
Oh,
part.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. I jive with that. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, so if you look up your birth chart,
Yeah.
you can even just type it into Google, like birth chart calculator. You type in your birthday, birth time,
Yeah.
location, and it
Yeah.
will tell you. It'll say your sun sign is this, your moon sign is this, your
Yeah.
rising sign is this. And so you'll start to see that you are a mixture of a lot of things, and
Yeah.
each planet means something different.
Yeah.
Um, so with that being said, when I kind of know what my own chart is, and that just tells me like everyone has the energy within them.
Yeah.
Um, and then I don't know. I kind of, Matt and I do it together. We go back and forth, and it's a balance of being very, because I don't want to be such a character that it feels inauthentic. So it's more about me just tapping into the
What's true for
energy of, yeah, what's true for me and like how I relate to like that rebel song. Like, so I really go into that place of how am I a rebel? What does that feel like? I
Yeah.
let my body fill up with that fire, and I
Oh,
sing
okay.
from that place. And then comparing to like the Taurus song, which is all about like stop and smell the roses and relax. I really got like,
Oh, that was sweet.
thank you. Really got like deep into my body, hung out in the garden for a little bit, and like kind of sang from this mother nature place instead.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, that's kind of how I've been going about it. So as
Great.
you can
So,
tell, it's very fun because
oh
it's
my God.
such
No,
a
you're
interesting
making me
challenge.
recognize, okay, it's possible for anybody. It's like, okay, she's just putting herself in a different environment and she's just really tuning into that energy when she's channeling that music. So it makes it almost possible for everybody that wants to almost follow in your footsteps in a sense.
Oh,
Um,
I'm like a strong believer anyone can do anything. I think like intention is the biggest thing. Like I think that's why I also set myself up with concept albums, because it actually boxes my creativity in a good way, because it like makes a very narrow intention that's very specific. And so if I put all my energy into that, then like I've realized it can result in amazing things, if that makes sense.
I love that. I love that. Let me let's go. Let's go. Like, I remember you shared a little bit about like one of your first awakening or glimpses into what truth is. And I want to, I'd like to, if you're down, I'd like to explore a little bit of that, your glimpses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did I what did I say? What did you read about when we first saw?
I just remember you said I had an like there, I just remember awakening. And if I were to, contextualize the question a little bit better, or like to go deeper, I would say what really like motivated you to get into this journey and stuff, because a lot of people are resistant on this path, and you
Mm,
chose the path of non-resistance, and like there is a level of devotion that you have for this
mm-hmm.
path that not a lot of people have. So
That's true.
on some level, we could say it was, your past incarnation and stuff, and that's what allows you to uh, be more committed towards this, uh, compared compared
Mm,
to the average person. But in your, direct experiences,
uh-huh.
what really catalyzed this devotion that you have
Mm,
towards bringing love to yourself and to your community?
hmm. That's a beautiful question.
Yeah.
Very insightful.
Thank you.
I I feel like when I hear the word like what makes me devoted, it's
Yeah.
not even like, I don't know. I think of it more like I'm on the planet, I'm a consciousness in a human body, and I want to have the most joy and love and connective time of my life.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of where it come from.
Yeah.
And I think that just drives, I don't even like really care about like, I'm not on a mission to like make everyone believe in astrology or believe in anything.
Of course.
I just want to
You're
like I want to have an amazing life and like
yeah.
connect with people and spread the joy and love, and that's just how it's manifesting for me, like through these projects and music and
Yeah.
writing stuff. And I don't know, yeah. And I guess where it started, I definitely like, so I was working in the music industry, so, like since I moved out to California, because I lived in Ohio till I was 18 or 19, and I moved to California, started right away working in like the major label industry, and I loved it. And I was doing it for like 5 or 6 years, and then I kind of came to one of those moments of like a quarter life crisis kind of moment of like, something's not feeling fulfilling right now. And like I realized I was always stressed out, like I
Yeah.
was just feeling like I was losing myself a little bit.
Was it a
And
lack of purpose? Is that what it was?
I think like I was enjoying the learning of the
You were still in
business.
music at the time, right? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but there's a lot of different expressions of music and
Okay.
people and stuff. So I think I was feeling fulfilled on one level, but also extremely stressed out. Like I couldn't control my stress for some reason. And so I don't know. I ended up, I was in a place where I was kind of like consumed with work, like working every moment of every day, like trying
Mhm.
to be something, trying to do something. And I just like kind of lost my center, even though I was like writing with like big superstars and stuff and like helping them make their albums and doing
Mhm.
some like amazing stuff, but something was still off in me. So I ended up being like, okay, I need a break. I need to like figure out what's going on. And then like kind of a series of uh, things happened of like I'm like I didn't really know what to do. I didn't have any guidance. Oh, I read the Eckhart Tolle book. I think that was the
Hey,
first. I
Eckhart
think that was
Tolle,
the
yo,
first.
Eckhart
Yeah,
Tolle.
Eckhart Tolle. I don't know how to say it. I think
I,
that was the first thing that I started reading that I was like, okay, it's like breaking me out of this like daily stress pattern.
how old were you
Um,
when this happened? How old, if you
I
don't
think
mind?
26.
Okay.
I'm 30. I just turned 31. So I
Happy
think that was like
birthday.
20. Thanks. Yeah, in June. And I think, yes, sir. I haven't thought about this one. I'm trying to remember this journey, but Eckhart Tolle. And then I started feeling like, oh, wow, present moment, breathing. It was kind of like I wasn't ever thinking about that. I was just like, go, 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 go.
Yeah.
And then that led me to go on a silent meditation retreat
No way.
in Northern California, and I just went on my own. It was like a last minute thing, or I was just like, I was just I wouldn't say rock bottom, but I just felt so terrible. I was like, I need something that's like a change. I
Yeah.
looked this place up. They had no spots available,
Is
but then
it
it was one of those.
Vipassana retreat?
It was like based on Vipassana. It was at Spirit Rock
Okay.
Center.
Okay.
They kind of like it's sort of like Vipassana,
Yeah.
but it was one of those things where like there's no spots left. But then like they called me back like someone just canceled. Do you want the spot? So I was like, yeah, I want it. And I went up there. I didn't even like know anything about mindfulness or meditation at all.
Dang.
Um, and I didn't know what I was getting myself into. It was just one of those like real like gut. I gotta go.
Hmm.
I went, and actually it felt amazing. I just felt like while I was there, it was exactly what I needed. And I was having so much like joy pour out of me of like, oh
Hmm.
my God, this is somehow, I just knew, I remember thinking like somehow this is going to define what is next for like the next decade or so for me. Like it was some kind of hybrid of this work and this feeling I was having. And so then shortly after that, I think I started thinking about chakras.
Wait,
Oh, I think
how many days was the retreat?
that was 6, I think.
That's beautiful. It was just pure meditation, or was there like a teacher instructing you to, like, it was very
Yeah,
quiet?
it
Okay.
was just very like, yeah, you had like breakfast at a certain time, then we all meditated together. It was guided
Okay.
by a person. It was just really beautiful. Um, it was such a beautiful experience. If anyone feels like slightly called to do that, I would jump on it because
Yeah.
you like eat lunch with a huge group of people, but you never talk. And there's something beautiful about like just being with people and not talking. Cause like we all had this really deep connection with each other, but didn't know each other on a personality level. It was just like we were all going through that. And then they would guide us through like other exercises too of, I don't even remember, but things that were more connective, but still not talking. And it was just so deep. It was such a deep connection. It was beautiful.
The reason,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. Have you ever done anything like that?
Yeah, no, the reason why I asked that, I was like, I remember on New Year's, I did a 49-day meditation just solo out in the wilderness and
Oh, wow.
out in the desert area. So I'm like, when I hear your retreat, I'm like resonating with that. And just recently, I think on Friday, I'm going to commit
Uh-huh.
to like a 49-day just home retreat and just going back to the self who I truly am. So when I hear like a
Mm.
person like going to a retreat and like connecting back to the true self, it's just my curiosity starts to tick, you know. Okay, so
Yeah,
okay.
that's so beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. So tell me about, yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I think maybe then a few months later was New Year's, and I ended up going to Sedona with Matt, and we're like, let's
What's
have
your
a
favorite place
different
there?
kind of.
What's your favorite
It's
place?
what?
What's your favorite place
Yeah.
there?
Oh,
What is
what's my favorite place there? I don't know. I like the whole thing. Sedona is like my favorite place. That is a magical place. I don't know what's going on there in the
I'll give you
rocks.
options. I'll give you options. You ready? Slide
Okay.
Rock
Yeah.
Canyon,
Mhm.
Grasshopper Point, Buddhist Stupa, what's that cross? The Holy Cross or something like that? Or is
Oh
that
yeah. Wait,
um,
what's the place that's like it's kind of like more of a flat thing. There's a river, there's a creek going next to it, and it's like this flat red rock area.
oh,
I forget what
oh,
that's called, but that's my favorite place.
oh, okay. Okay. I do then that perfect. I'll search that up. Now I
That's
have
my
a
favorite
place
place.
to go
I don't
to.
know. I don't know what the name is, but that's yeah. Um, what were you saying? Oh yeah, I went there and it was like a really nice New Year's ceremony, and this woman was playing the harp.
Hmm.
Um, and she was talking about how each of the chakras had a different note
Yeah.
associated with it. There was something in that explanation that was like the birth of um, the chakra album and the Renae artist,
Yeah.
because I started realizing the connection of
Yeah.
music and like, oh my God, there's a note. So then I went on this journey of like, I have a challenge for myself. I want to make a song
Yeah.
in the key of each chakra and
Yeah.
write about the chakras. So that was like the first moment of that happened in Sedona. So I think that's my spiritual beginning.
Whoa.
Um, and well, I don't even know. I feel like we're all spiritual the whole time. We're just kind of on this
Yeah,
ebb
we're
and
we're
flow
all like
journey
who
of
we truly are is always there, but
yeah,
speaking in the relative, like there is a story. There is a story attached to it occasionally, unless you want to just let it go and not give a fuck about it. It's fine too.
right. But then
Yeah,
also I'm looking at like it's just like the human journey. It's not even bad that you get disconnected from yourself. Like that's how you evolve as a person and as a collective. Like we go away from home and we come home, and it's like this hero's journey every time of different adventures. So
yeah,
it's all good. All the contrast is good.
yeah,
Hard times are fine.
yeah.
Hard while they're happening.
I love that. I'm like curious on like what was like the biggest hurdle that you just had to not even like speaking about songs specifically, but if it is music, it's great. Like what was the biggest hurdle that you like had to go through and maybe are still going through or like got past?
Hmm. Hurdle like creatively
No, not even
or
creatively, like
personally?
life, like personally, like life in general. Like let's just get deep
Oh man.
emotionally, internally. Like
Um
let's look past the artist Renae for a bit and let's see, the the other Renae. There's multiple Renaes, I think.
Actually, interesting fact, my first name's Christy. My middle name's
Yeah,
Renee.
there we go. There we go. Yeah. Let's talk about
So
Christy. Let's talk about
most of my friends call me Christy, but
now you know
it's
now they
becoming
know
a
I'm not
hybrid.
like one of those close friends now. Oh my God, how could you say that?
Oh, sorry, no. Well, now you are. We've just entered the Christy
Oh, I
way.
entered the friend zone. Oh yes, this is good. This is good. I like this.
We're already friends. It's fine.
Thank you, Christy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this feels so cool calling you Christy now. I feel accomplished.
Yeah. I am Christy Renee Vaughn. That's my name.
All right. Thanks,
Sorry,
Christy.
I just lost the Zoom screen. Okay.
Oh
Here,
shit.
my email just bumped it out.
Yeah.
Hurdles.
Yeah, let's talk about
Good
Christy's journey
question.
now.
Christy struggles.
Yeah, Christy,
Um,
not Renee struggles now.
I don't know. I mean, I think that honestly, that quarter life crisis moment was very hard for me. Like that
Yeah.
was, I think recently that was my biggest feeling of disconnection. And I think it's because like I've always just worked so hard on stuff, and I really went with this whole like get to the top and like stop at nothing. And I was in that mindset, and I did like get very far in terms of like who I was working with and all this stuff. And it was kind of that, I mean, I hear that story all the time, that disillusionment of like, when you get to that place, sometimes you're very fulfilled and that's awesome, but sometimes not. And so I think that was like, that was like earth shattering for me to like be in that lifestyle and feel so terrible, to be honest.
That's crazy.
And
that's crazy,
yeah,
because
and
people like try to like want to pursue their passion, yet their passion is still not fulfilling themselves, which is really it's a whacked out paradigm to be in.
it is. And like, I wouldn't even say the whole thing was bad. It was just kind of, I don't know. I went through a phase of being really, really unhappy and really disconnected, like waking up every day, like like such in a stress ball that I just didn't like anything. I felt so, I was getting like panic attacks and like these kind of really intense anxiety things that I've never really experienced before.
Yeah.
And that's even hard to explain, because like when people on the outside think of like what that lifestyle is, they're like, you made it, you're doing it. And it's like, I don't know, I just didn't feel like that. But I think since then I've been piecing it apart and being like, I believe that if I enter my career and lifestyle in a different way, that I don't have to feel like that anymore. I can feel fulfilled the whole time as it's happening. And it has been proving itself to me. Like, I guess that's been what, like 5 years. And I feel like I'm more in control of my life. I feel more like proud of my life. I feel more balanced. And it's been a process. It hasn't been like I awakened and now everything's perfect, you know?
Yeah, I don't think it happens like that for anybody.
No, and I think like, and there's a nuance of like, because you would think, because people are like, well, you were writing music for like big stars and stuff, but like writing is a very deep process. So like if it's not really aligned with what you're wanting to write about and say in the way that is good for your creativity, all these little things that are nuances, if they're not really lined up, can be pretty like difficult to live that lifestyle every day. So I've noticed as I've made Renae, I'm still writing for a lot of like TV shows and other artists and stuff, but it's coming from a very different place. And the universe is proving itself to me that like, as I step into the day more as this like whole self, different kinds of projects and people come to me, even at the same level, which is amazing. Like I write for this Hulu TV show called Holly Hobby, and that it's a beautiful show. It's like, I feel so good about that work because I know it's reaching millions of young people, and I'm writing music for it, writing lyrics, and I know that I'm affecting young people and consciousness. And so that's great. I'm like, that kind of job appeared as I was on this path because it's more aligned with me. Other things from Disney and other things from other kinds of companies that, I don't know, it's just different stuff is coming to me because I'm in a different vibration. And that's honestly what I want to fill my life with. I want to fill my life with my own artistry, working with other brands that are we're all just aligned with the same mission, same feeling. And it's honestly way more fun. There's not as much stress. Everyone's kind of on the same page with what we're doing and what the intention is. And so I feel like I'm liking where my life's going right now.
There's a deep sense of harmony.
Yes. Going for harmony.
What okay, let me ask you this. Like what was the process of going through the panic attacks and stuff? Like how did you get through it?
Oh, books. I like books, like spiritual books. I also started seeing a transpersonal therapist, which I learned that there's a lot of different kinds of therapists out there.
Yeah.
And a transpersonal therapist is someone that has a little bit more of like a spiritual creative language to the transformation process. And that was so vital for me at that time, because I was feeling so many uncomfortable anxiety energies, and she was so helpful for me during that, and I'm so grateful to her. And also just like family and friends, I don't know, just like reconnecting with people, um being grounded. I think being a creative person too, you can be really prone to anxiety, because to me anxiety is kind of like creativity gone haywire, because it's like all in your mind and you're not grounded
Yeah.
in your body in the moment.
Yeah.
So also just like learning like that, and like learning about what is anxiety and getting this kind of objective perspective from it. Learning things like that I am not my thoughts, I am consciousness, like these kind of different perspectives on the inner level,
Yeah.
to be able to control it and understand what it is, not be so overtaken by your emotions, and learning how to like process and go through it.
Yeah. Has it complete do you still see remnants of it come up, or do you feel like it's completely dissolved by now?
I think a tendency for me, just when things are going off, is that kind of uncomfortable anxiety feeling. Like I was feeling that at the beginning of the corona stuff, like
Yeah.
this year too. So it
Yeah.
actually, it comes up for me in different ways. I'm not upset about what I was upset about 5 years ago, but I've noticed that
You
I
let
have
go. What's up?
yeah. uh but yeah, of course we're all experiencing tremendous challenges and changes in 2020. It's
Yeah.
crazy for everyone. So I've been through all sorts of emotions and anxieties as we've gone through this. I'm feeling like the most stable and forward moving in the last few weeks, I'd say. But definitely at the beginning, it was like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? I think everyone's feeling that. But I was feeling that uncontrollable anxiety again, of almost like just like being afraid to be. So I kind of went back to those processes of like breathing in the moment. I'm okay. I can feel my body right here on the couch in the moment. That's kind of how I deal with the panic anxiety.
Damn.
Singing is anything that's embodied is good. Even running, walking, getting out of your head into your body. So there's definitely a couple days of like intense struggles with this 2020 shifts. But then also staying connected with my friends that are also we're all kind of here for each other, with my family. Everyone's dealing with those pressures of their businesses going haywire. Like some people's businesses are completely transforming or failing or moving into something else. And so I've dealt with that with different members of my family and friends, and working through that with each other. So I don't know, just taking it day by day. And the whole music industry is collapsing right now. But
Really?
yes,
I
for
didn't know
sure.
that.
I think it's one of the hardest hit industries by the coronavirus because of live events. Because live concerts concerts is the main source of revenue for the pop industry, at least. I personally, since I do a lot of TV work, I've been okay during this.
Lucky you. Okay.
But also all TV production stopped too, because they can't film actors and stuff right now. So it wasn't totally okay. But at the same time, I I don't I don't think it's a bad thing that some of those old industry things collapse in music, because I don't think a lot of them were very functional. A lot of them were a big part of the reason for my panic attacks and things that I was feeling, because there's a lot of really misaligned business practices and energies in the old music industry. So in a way, I talk about this with my friends a lot. We're kind of like, this is hard, but it is going to transform into something better. And I like continuously thinking and designing what the new music business is through this artistry and through other things I'm doing, because it is unfolding right now. I think it will be better. But that's hard stuff to like
is like
deal with.
the biggest trap in that industry the incongruency, or like what do you think? Like what is it? What's the biggest trap?
Oh man, it's a big can of worms. It is. It's really how the whole business functions, like record label deals, the way that they're structured, the way everything from how percentages are taken, and to there's still language in major label contracts about like hitting certain number of CD sales to then be released. So it's all this old language piled on top of each other.
Number based.
Yeah, that really locks people in. So like I was personally stuck in a major label publishing deal for a long time, and I was just able to get out like 4 years ago, or maybe 3 years ago.
Dang.
And it was intense. It was intense about how to get out, because it was really unfair. It was really not set up to support the artist. So alongside Renae, I have this secondary mission of like redirecting where I believe the industry should go. And as I keep going, I'm going to extend that to other artists too, to help rebuild this in a different way, which I'm really excited about, because it's time for a change.
Yeah. Okay. I'm very like impressed how your relationship has no tension at all.
My what?
Your relationship, your marriage has
With
no
Matt?
you and Matt,
tension.
no like you specifically said no tension, and then you specifically said no one believes me when I say it, you know? So
Yeah.
I want to like give me a formula. I have an intuitive sense of what it is. Like it's a groundedness, it's a, you know, it's a compassion for each other, right? And it's rooted in that foundation. But I want to hear you say it, because I have a sense of what it is, but I just want to hear you say
it. He's just my best friend.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's all you're gonna say?
Wait, let me try to think. No one to ask me that. Our relationship is like strung together by joy and love. Okay. Like joy is like the primary frequency we have together. So it's just like an explosion of happiness.
Yeah. And
like, of course, we have like, we have our own moments of ebbing and flowing to like the dark spaces, but it's never really because of each other. It's because of other things, and then we're kind of always there to like to lift each other up in a way. Is that what you're asking? I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I'm so curious on like how, like what is the foundation, and I think you described it. Let me see. Okay, cool. What I was so curious, like how are you able to get your relationship into a space of no tension? And you said, so basically what I'm getting is like the foundation was love and joy, and as long as you continued practicing, or not even practicing, or just becoming who you really were, which is love and joy, as you continued centering yourself, which you're not really doing anything because that's just who you truly are, as you continue centering yourself, so my assumption is that you were able to get into that space in your relationship because love and joy was the foundation. That's my assumption. Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I just like adore him. I think he's an amazing person. And whenever I see him, I feel like genuinely lit up, and I feel like he thinks the same thing about me. So I don't know. I'm just like, I mean, I guess we've had arguments before. Honestly, not really that many, and people literally won't even believe me, but I don't even care because it's been long enough. It's not a honeymoon phase. This
Yeah.
is how we are. This is our relationship. So it's fine.
Damn, yo, that's crazy. No, to find, dang. So, okay, so I know that you are very, like, your foundation is love, like, definitely, like, your foundation is love. But then
Yeah,
also, you found a man that where his foundation is probably love too to make that happen.
yeah,
Fuck,
yeah.
lucky fuck.
Well, I do say, like, we talk about sometimes, like, when we did first meet, the
Mhm.
person I was in a relationship with before, we had a ton of tension. Like, we couldn't get along at all.
Yeah,
Like it was like a high school sweetheart, but damn,
yeah,
that was a lot of work, a
yeah.
lot of tension, a lot of trying. But I think, I don't know, I was also felt like I was kind of stuck in that relationship. And so when I entered college, I
Mhm.
wasn't like, I wasn't trying. There was something to that too. I wasn't trying to find something or someone. So
Yeah.
it was this like natural kinship, friendship that formed without both of us weren't trying to
Mhm.
find someone. So I think
Yeah.
there's something to that too, where
And you guys were
um
friends first, yeah?
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
it
Yeah.
felt like maybe because we were both in the same program, it was like a similar interest too. So we had similar life goals. I think
Yeah.
that helped. Oh my God, we drew this picture though, like when we were in college of just like stick figures of
Yeah.
a house by
Yeah.
the beach, a dog and a cat, and us in a studio in our house. And that is exactly where we're at now. Like we definitely
What?
manifested that shit. Yep. Like
Oh my God.
we've been like trying to find the picture. It's somewhere in the house, but I'm gonna post it at some point because it's like the perfect manifestation picture because it's so goofy, like stick figures and stuff. But I'm just like, dude, we did it. We're in a house. We got our studio. The beach is over there.
Oh,
We
yo,
did it.
can you like stop being who you truly are and like stop creating things that way? Like it just nah, stop boggling people's minds. That's
Come
not
on.
true. I want the world to be unconscious and in fear. Like you cannot do this.
Come on.
You cannot show the miraculous to people, man. Like
Just draw stick figure people on a piece of paper what you want and then
oh my God.
manifest it.
Oh my gosh. Um, you know what's crazy? I think with your music, you're actually donating like a portion of the money that you make with your music and stuff. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Signs song. So this is a an album called Signs, but then there's a theme song
Yeah.
called Signs.
Yeah.
Um, and so
And wait,
there's
let me ask you this real quick too. Is like when is it signs like specifically towards like astrology? Because like when I heard the word signs, I felt like that was like synchronicity.
uh-huh.
Like just look at like the fall, like look at the signs, you know, kind of like follow the signs. Like that felt in my language like what synchronicity
Hmm.
is and stuff. But anyways, charity
It's
first.
both.
Yeah.
It's both to answer your question. It's a
Okay.
double meaning. Listen to the
Oh,
signs.
oh, you
Like, listen to
motherfucker.
the signs and then also listen to astrology and listen to the songs. It's a triple meaning.
Yeah, yeah. How could you do two fucking meanings, man? You're supposed to be simple.
That's true.
Simplicity.
But it's still
Okay.
very simple,
No, it
isn't
is.
it?
Yeah, it's
The
true.
line.
It's truthful. I love it. I love it. Okay, so tell me about the
Um,
charity thing.
you're talking about mindful schools?
Yeah, I think it was like there was like a picture where like there's like a ton of kids. Yeah, mindful school is like kids meditating. That's so fucking rad.
Yes, yes. So yeah, we're donating a portion of the Sign Song revenue to mindful schools, and I've been really moved by mindful schools. You can check them out,
Mhm.
mindfulschools.org, I believe. But I learned about them. They're just an organization. They go into classrooms. I don't know how they're dealing with the corona thing, but they go into classrooms and they teach mindfulness to kids in really simple ways.
Yeah.
Like they make it really understandable for kids, and the you can watch some videos on their site and stuff, and it's just beautiful. And I experienced their teaching when after I had my kind of meltdown crisis, I decided to take some classes,
Yeah.
uh, some graduate psychology classes. So I
Oh yeah,
went
you're really
to,
great at psychology. I can hear it in the music.
yeah, so I love psychology, learned all about Carl Jung and all Freud and all that stuff.
Oh, you
But
did it. Okay.
yeah, but so there was one day that Mindful Schools came in, um, and they did like a demonstration of what they do for the kids. And I was just like so moved. Like I almost cried because I just thought like, oh my God, you've made mindfulness fun. Like they had one of those toys, you know, those like it's like a circle and it expands and it's like different colors. So they brought a bunch of those and they gave one to each person and they taught like if you use this as your breathing. So they did like a whole mindful breathing exercise with this toy thing and I was just like, this is freaking genius and the kids love it and they're just teaching them right away how to be in the moment, embodied.
Hmm.
And that's just something I personally care about is like affecting kids and the generation coming up. You really want to like change stuff, like talk to the people that are growing right
Yeah.
now.
I feel like that I'm so happy that it's becoming a trend to shift the education system. Like I
Yeah,
feel like that's becoming a thing and it's so 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 powerful.
it really is.
Okay, okay, I'm curious about this. What's like a thing that your biggest fans like don't know about you, but you think that they would be like, "Oh shit, I did not know that about Christy
Oh,
or Renee. I fuck that."
hmm.
Your biggest fans. Like, like let's say, like, those people that, like comment on your song. Yeah, like that, like your 5-year fans that they just don't
Mm-hmm.
know about you.
Mm, I don't know. Something that would be like shocking or like,
Something it could be shocking, could be sweet, could be dark. I don't give a fuck. It's like it's you. It's this is like half your show, half my show.
oh my gosh. I don't know. Can you answer that question about you first? I gotta think about it.
Okay, what's something
I'm
that
I'm
they
kind of like I don't know. I kind of share a lot of stuff. I'm not sure
that's true.
what
I've
I've kept
exposed myself,
secret.
to be honest.
You what?
I've definitely have exposed myself already a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
I'm trying to
Um,
think what would be a secret.
yeah.
Is it more like guilty pleasures?
Oh, yeah, you want to go dark? Let's go Carl Jung dark if you want.
Oh no, I was just thinking more like I like reality shows.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, I like
No,
to eat
no, I
cookies.
don't know.
Yeah. Um, let's see. If I were to answer that question. Okay, now I can relate with what you're going through because I'm kind of so you've been complete then that means you've shared everything on Instagram. Are you saying that? Is
Oh
that
my
what you're saying?
God.
You've
No, that's
shared
not what I'm
completely
saying.
yourself?
No, because I don't share. Jeez, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. I don't know. Maybe something will come to me as we go. I
Oh
can't think of
my
anything.
god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
You keep thinking on that too. We'll
Okay,
figure
okay,
out something.
okay. Let me do that. Let me see. Let's see. Do.
What's your book about? Can I ask you questions?
Yeah, go for it. Thank you. Oh, what's my book about?
Yeah.
It's about social synchronicity, and it's basically really simplifying the process on how to approach people, and but not to necessarily, because I'm not the best conversationalist, and like I'm not the best,
You're not. You seem great.
like, well, I'll say okay. I'll be real. I think I'm good at it, but I don't think that like I've had other friends that are like amazing conversationalists. They'll be like way more like everybody. I feel like everybody has their style in the way
Yeah.
that they are conversationalists. Like some people are more articulate. Some people are more triggering. Like they'll be more triggering and ask you more triggering stuff. Right, so everybody has their own style. So I don't really go about that, but I go about the process of approaching, and then perfect. This is going to be a great leeway to me asking you about something. But
Yeah.
anyways, what it is that we go into also the different emotions that we go through in the process of approaching as well. So at first, it's like there's like this thing called the hello method, which is like at minimum, just say hello to at least one person a day if you think that approaching could be a potential lifestyle of yours. If it's not, don't do it. Right? If you don't want to have, like, if you're super duper like identified with being introvert, great. Do not do it. Right? But if there's a part of you that wants to, kind of get out of your comfort zone a little bit, say hello to at least one person a day. And what you'll notice energetically, that kindness that is being given occasionally, not all the times, gets received back. And then or sometimes they just don't even acknowledge you. But that also boosts your energy because now you've let go of attachment. So there's an energy that you almost get back to create a sense of momentum. And that momentum allows you to naturally, instead of forcing a conversation, but naturally, be curious about a person and, start a conversation and maybe be like, how are you? Then it's how to gauge people's energy, because some people do not want to be talked to, or they'll even give you hints along the way and be like, no, I don't want to continue the conversation, and being able to pick up on those energies and stuff. And then there's a little bit about looking at your energy. Like, how do you manage your energy in approaching when you're in the energy of fear or anger or guilt or shame or apathy? Or how do you manage your energy when you're in the place of acceptance and peace? And then I kind of categorized each emotion in like there's an introverted reactive emotion, and there's an extroverted reactive emotion, and then there's an introverted non-reactive emotion, and there's an extrovert non-reactive emotion. So for instance, the energy of peace would be like an introverted non-reactive emotion. The energy of courage or love would be an extroverted non-reactive emotion. Or the energy of anger would be an extroverted reactive emotion. Or the energy of fear would be an introverted reactive emotion. So we go into those different categories of emotions in the process of approaching.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so insightful. So you're like designing, it almost sounds like a Myers-Briggs typology, but from a different perspective, and you're kind of redesigning a new frame of how to look at communication styles.
Yeah, communicate,
right?
the social world, and how to communicate it, and how to communicate. Yeah, because a lot of social skills is very, like, they don't integrate the dimension of energy into it. And because of that, I was like, yo, like, let me create a system where you can socialize, where it integrates the idea of energy, because it typically just integrates the idea of like how to keep the conversation going, or how to break the ice and all that stuff, or it's very focused on the physical and occasionally the mental, but to integrate also the energetic dimension into socializing as well.
Oh, wow. And so you're also breaking it down by different kinds of people communicate in different ways too, like extrovert, introvert, or are you saying, is that kind of what you're saying too?
Kind of just basically understanding energies very specifically, because for instance, like fear will revert back like internally, and it's like this kind of tense emotion. So if you look at the definition of introversion, it's like an inwards kind of feeling, but I also labeled it as the reactive inward feeling, right? And when you're angry, it's like, fuck you, get the fuck out of my, and it's very outward.
I see.
So it's extra.
Got it.
So it's just a way of like understanding emotions at the time. And then I don't think it's any deeper than that. Like that's like the simplest way that I could put it. So it's just like a way to categorize introversion, extroversion, and also emotions at the same time. And what is a reactive emotion? What is a non-reactive emotion? Yeah. So
I see where your head's at.
Yeah.
I see you read Carl Jung and you're designing your own That's beautiful. That's
Thank
cool.
you.
Can't wait to read that.
Thank you. Oh, you're reading it? Get out of here. No.
No, I
Okay,
can't wait
yeah,
to read it.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I was like, get out of here. You're actually gonna read it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah, you're a motherfucker. Thank you. Thank you. That's so sweet. That's a sweet thought. Yeah, I love Carl Jung because he's actually into you know, the introversion. I didn't know this at the time, but he was very about the model. Like he was the one that at least popularized introversion, extroversion. I had no idea. I thought he.
Yeah, I think it's his typology that is the foundation of Myers-Briggs. Do you get into that too, or have you gotten into that?
Yeah. Like yeah, I was like a long time ago. I was like I'm an NTJ something. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm either I'm probably an
INF,
ENTJ or like
ENTJ.
yeah,
I think I am always a INFJ.
INFJ. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
tell me about like what it's like being, because I remember you were talking about how you were like an introverted empath.
oh yeah.
Yeah, what's that like?
Um, I mean, these are all like labels, whatever. I feel like your personality can change, but
Yeah,
also I think you should embrace whatever your human tendencies and personalities and patterns are too.
do that.
Um, so I definitely have been more like on the introverted side, more of a feeling type, um, which I feel like there definitely is a pressure that extroverted is better in
Yeah,
our culture. So I
yeah,
definitely like grew up with that tension a little bit. I even remember the first time I took the Myers-Briggs test. They gave it to us in 8th grade. They
yeah.
gave it to everyone and I took it and I faked my answers so that I could be an extrovert. Like it's so stupid, but I remember literally doing that, getting the test back and I was like, yeah, I'm an extrovert.
Bye.
So that's really sad. But since then, I've embraced this introverted pattern, and I don't know. I think I'm like a social introvert, if that's a thing. I don't know. Like I think the introvert extrovert thing is more about like where do you get your energy?
Yeah,
You get your energy from others, or do you get it from yourself? So like, not one is bad or good. It's just kind of like if I'm with a big group of people for a while, I'll be freaking drained. Like I don't get energy from that. I have to like have a lot of alone time.
mm,
So it's kind of just like assessing what feels good for my patterns and stuff. And I like it. Maybe I don't know. Just
I feel you.
embracing who you are. The
Yeah,
empath thing, I think I struggled with that a lot. I think that just means that like um you feel other people's emotions like they're yours.
yeah,
So I used to struggle with that, but I've been on a journey of turning that into a superpower
yeah,
because I think there's a fine line if you're just like in the world and you're like overtaken by other people's perspectives and emotions that aren't really yours. You
yeah,
really lose your footing and you lose your grounding. But the ability to be able to do that, to be able to like get into someone else's shoes and another perspective is a beautiful thing if you know
yeah,
how to like control it and to manage it.
yeah,
So even like writing music for everyone's signs, that's kind of like an empath skill, I think, to like step into the shoes of an Aries and sing from that place. Like
yeah.
that's like a controlled empath skill, I think.
Hmm.
Um, but I think a lot of people do struggle with that, and I have struggled with that in my life of like feeling like I don't know what my perspective is. Like I take on other people's shit and stuff.
Yeah. How are you able to like, so do you still like struggle with that, or like were you able to ground yourself to the point where you're not affected by people's energies anymore?
Mm,
Or is it still happening occasionally? Like, of course, it's probably still going to happen to some degree, but were you able to reduce it significantly or
yeah,
grounding
yeah,
yourself?
I reduce it significantly, but I think if I'm in a period of my own like stress or confusion about something, it can kind of come on again because then I just don't feel grounded in myself.
Mm. So,
But
yeah. So when almost like the lower vibrational energy like is influencing you, then that becomes, you become more susceptible to other people's energy.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. But when you're in a higher vibrational energy, you'll notice that you have a higher immunity to other people's energy, and you tend to not even attract it at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, and it just actually, that the transpersonal therapist that I mentioned, she taught me a skill that really helped me with this. She
Yeah.
said, when you're out in the world, actually Eckhart Tolle talks a lot about this too, about feeling your inner body.
Absolutely.
So if I direct all my attention to my inner body, like even right now, like I'm doing it right now, I can feel my whole body, like my legs and my feet. In this instant, I'm now more grounded and I am in myself. And so that helps me as an empath, because if I'm not in that place, I become other people or I take on their energy. But if I have a stable grounding of my presence within my whole body, that's like an anchor into me.
Mm.
And so she had me practice that too. And like just take note of it, how many times I did that during the day. And it started training this muscle of redirecting my consciousness into my body when I'm out in the world. And now it happens more naturally, but I thought that was such an amazing skill I'd never thought of before. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Redirecting back into the inner body, because that's kind of where all the tension is at times. And what happens is that when you put awareness into the inner body, I don't know what happens, just automatically it tends to just dissolve, and that allows us to just feel more, I don't know, it just like awareness is just so important. Like there was a beautiful quote by David R. Hawkins where he says, you don't actually have to change your habits. All you have to do is you just have to be aware about it. Just count how many cookies that you're eating. Like, okay, today I ate 160 cookies. Okay, the next day I ate 110 cookies. Or the next day I ate 180 cookies. You don't actually have to guilt trip yourself to be like, oh man, I ate all these amount of cookies and all that stuff, because typically that doesn't work, and you're just putting yourself in a lower energy by putting yourself in guilt, and it just attracts you more to being compulsive. So instead of doing that, just simply being aware and just documenting and be like, okay, I ate this amount of cookies. Simply being aware is so powerful, and to translate it into simply just being aware of the inner body, the inner energy body that is just constantly occurring.
Yeah, that's a great observation. Having that objective awareness, that's a big one for me, of getting this kind of separation from the fast moving monkey mind, and directing your awareness into your body. The word anchor always comes to me. It feels like an anchor. I'm anchored in the moment and in my body, and it gives me more like separation from the mind, so you have a little more objective awareness of everything.
Yeah.
Instead of being spun into story land and perspective, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What's coming to mind is that first came to mind is, dang, like you were able to do a concert at the Chopra Center, but also at the same time though, I just had this moment with you right now where I had this imagination, like when you were singing at like doing like a little concert, and then people would actually meditate to your music.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen that. I don't know where you got that idea, but I just have not seen that in any industry or like anybody who's done music before. Kind of to some degree, but you do it very specifically. Like everybody has their own speakers. Like people will actually do art as you're singing, and I find that to be a very like where did that get channeled from? Like what the fuck?
Oh man, you're making reminiscent too. Like I'm hoping that we'll be able to do that again soon. That obviously requires people in a space together. But I'm really looking forward to starting that back up when it's safe. And the plan was to really like tour with it and take it around. But yeah, what we did at the Chopra Center and at some other places was kind of like a silent disco, a different take on a silent disco, where everyone has their own wireless headphones. And I would take them through the journey of the chakra album from root chakra to crown. And so on that album, there's a song for each of the chakras, and there's also a meditation track for each of the chakras. So I wanted to design a journey that was like goes in between. So I would start with the meditation to get people into their own root chakra. And then I would sing the song to kind of celebrate that chakra and then go one by one. And it was like, it was so beautiful and transformative. I'd give like little different exercises, whether it was like a breathing meditation or like saying certain affirmations or something, depending on what chakra we're in, or visioning. And I mean, how that got started was I have a good friend named Peter Opperman, and he's an amazing meditation guide. You guys should check him out. He's got these meditations called Future Self, and he's become a really good friend of mine. But he was going around LA with the headphones. He had the headphones, and he was leading guided meditations with the headphones. And I went to one, and I felt like this is so transformative. And so I talked to him, and I was like, I think we should do a concert together, because I just was having this idea come, like, I think we can do something together. So it started out as a hybrid. He would lead a future self meditation at the beginning, and then we would launch into this kind of concert thing. And then it just kind of kept evolving from there. And then I started taking it around as this like chakra concert. And so I want to do that with the astrology album too, of course, and continue the chakra one, because it was really powerful. And we did it at the Chopra Center several times, and some of them were during like events, and some were at they have smaller retreats too. So it was interesting to bring that experience to different kinds of groups of people. The retreats were way more like deep, because these people were really processing, going through something deep. One was even a silent retreat at the Chopra Center, which was interesting. I'm like, wait, this is silent, and now we're gonna do a concert. But it actually turned out beautiful, because it was interesting. After each song, there was like no like clapping or talking or anything. It was just like moving through the songs, and everyone was silent. But it was like had its own beautiful resonance because of that.
How long was the retreat?
Well, they were there for like a week or two, but I just came in for the concert. But I mean, depending on when those come back, we are definitely planning to do them again. So anyone watching this, if you have a retreat or center or any kind of place, I think the minimum group size is like around 30, and then we can scale it to however many. So
I see. Okay, one last thing before we. Okay, actually, I don't know if you're even okay on a level from 1 to 10. How spontaneous are you?
Just as a person?
Sure, yeah.
I don't know what else would be.
Be a 10.
Spontaneous. I feel. I don't know. Sometimes I feel so spontaneous, but I'm also such a planner.
Okay,
Is that possible to be both?
Okay. How spontaneous do you feel on this podcast at this current time?
Oh, 10. I'm just like,
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And now this is a good question that's gonna make you have a sense of where this is going. How comfortable are you at acapella?
Oh man, I don't know.
Okay.
What, you want me to sing something?
Yeah. Yes. And I know, and just know that it's gonna be imperfect always. And I know that like the way that people sing, it's like they're always like trying to tune into like a particular moment. And I know it's like a completely different energy that we've had in this like conversation,
Yeah.
and it's like reverting into a different energy. So despite those circumstances,
Mhm.
may I ask you lovingly, can you sing?
Okay, I'm gonna throw it back to you.
Okay.
I will sing. If you give me a phrase, a message that you want to say to people right now, one like line, I'll sing
A
that
line or
back
a
to
word?
you.
A line or a word?
Either one.
Okay, first one that came to my mind was synchronicity.
Okay.
Okay. And if I were to have, okay, and a line would be, I love you. Synchronicity and I love you.
Okay. I'm gonna do something spontaneous. I'm gonna play one of my meditation tracks, and I'm just gonna like riff
Take your
that
time. Take
line.
your time. This is so cool. Seeing the process.
Okay. Let's see. Um, what did you say? Synchronicity.
Yeah, synchronicity and I love you.
Okay. Can you hear this?
Yeah, I can hear it.
So I'm just gonna like channel a melody around what you were just saying. Okay, I got one. You ready?
Here, pause it.
Actually,
Pause it. Can you get earphones for the music?
oh, can you not hear it?
No, I can hear it. Um, just so we can get like just your clear voice, because the audio is not of the best. It's good quality, is not of the best, but it still can work if
Okay.
you want to play with it. Like
Okay.
so you could like listen to, so like completely just purely your voice. And then what I can do instead is then you can give me that meditation soundtrack so I can put it in the background.
Okay. So you want me to play this really quietly, maybe, so
Yeah,
you can't
or
hear it?
yeah, either play quietly, or like put it like right next to your ear.
My microphone's up here though,
Oh, your
because
microphone's there? How about the
it's
other?
AirPods. Yeah, they're. Oh, I guess I could do it like this.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that
Okay.
works.
Okay. Hold on.
Thank you. You're so amazing. Thank you.
Okay. Hold on. Is that okay? That volume? Can you not hear it? Oh, I can't hear you anymore. Is that okay? I can't hear you anymore.
Oh, no, you can hear me. I muted myself so I can get clear
Oh.
voice.
Oh. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Synchronicity, we are free. It's how it's supposed to be. And synchronicity, we are free. It's how it's meant to be. Sing along with me. Synchronicity, we are free. It's how it's meant to be. In synchronicity, we are free. It's how we're meant to be. In harmony.
In harmony. Oh,
there you go.
God. That was so good, yo. That's crazy. Oh my God.
Thanks. So
Oh my God.
put me on the spot, but I like doing that. I like
You
making
love challenging
melodies.
stuff. I heard it at the start. That's what you said.
You what?
You said I love challenging myself.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like that. But yeah, that. What did I even say? Synchronicity. We are free. It's how it's meant to be. I like rhyming words and emoting it. So there you go. There's your mantra.
Oh my God.
Bring that mantra into your life. I sang that over the Ripples meditation track. So you can find that on that first album, and whenever you play it, you can like sing that as your mantra.
Thank you so much. I bow. Thank you. I bow for that. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
I'm happy to give it to you.
All right. Well, appreciate speaking to you. I've learned. I think what I really love is just like it was just really exciting talking to you. Like,
yeah, same here. You're such a wonderful person.
Thank you. And it's just crazy that this is the first time that we spoke for over an hour. So that's
true.
But
that's so true. I just think keeping in mind that like, I think this year has been really challenging for everyone, and keeping in mind that like everything is an evolution.
Yeah.
And that if we just stay connected with ourselves and each other in our highest place possible during times like this, like we will evolve it forward in a positive way.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm trying to stay grounded in through this year. And I really am enjoying making this music this year because I think it's also helping me and people do that. That's the intention of what it is. So yeah, that's all I got.
Man. I was about to be like, amen, but man. Yeah. All right. Hope to talk to you again soon, and I'd love to maybe potentially in the long or near or whatever future, like we could actually like meet up and like just like my yeah. And we'll see how it goes. And I'd love to meet Matt and then just be like, okay, how did you guys do it? How'd you guys do it?
Right.
How do you guys not like oh my God, fuck you guys. No kidding. All right. Much love. Chrissy, right?
Yep. Christy Renae Vaughn is my name.
Chrissy Renae. Is it German?
Vaughn is German and Welsh, yeah.
Okay, like it matters, right? We're past that already, right?
I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, thank you so much for having me on here. It's been like wonderful to talk to you, and I'm glad you're doing well. And for anyone listening, a great way to stay in touch is if you text signs, the word signs, to the phone number 33777. And then you will be entered into my signs world. And we actually have some really exciting stuff we're launching in like 2 weeks, which is like a really cool interactive experience through our music that I'll be like emailing and texting people. So if you want to be a part of that journey, text signs to 33777.
Okay, I'm doing it right now.
Do it.
Okay, right now. Okay, 333, right?
You text the word signs
to
so in the number place put 33777.
777.
So, and then in the text message, write signs. I'm gonna do it to myself too. Make sure it works. Yeah.
Okay, let's see if this works.
Did something happen? Did something happen?
Nothing happening.
Oh, oh wait, it says someone just signed up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you'll get an automatic message in a few minutes.
Okay. I'm just impatient, that's why.
Yeah, you'll get a little welcome message, and then something exciting is gonna happen in the next few weeks. So you'll be one of the first to be a part of it.
Wait,
so,
I'm the first?
One of the first.
Well, don't worry. I understand. I'm not that special. It's all right.
Very special.
That's obvious though. Okay, it's so blessed speaking to you, and I really feel like I got something.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Oh, no wonder it took long, because you made it send it a picture.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's why it took a little bit. Oh, this is so cute. Yeah, I definitely. Oh my God, this is so cute. I love this. Hi, welcome to the Signs Zodiac Journey. No, one of the big inspirations for speaking to you was also like, I have a beautiful friend in my life, and she loves music, and she loves astrology, and she loves chakras. So she was
amazing.
Yeah, and so not only was I felt so compelled because that, like, you were able to accept my shadow from like a really long time, and then I got to hear your first, like, one of the first songs that I heard from you was Bridge, and that made sense because during the Donald Trump times and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I listened to that at least 16 times on like repeat and stuff. And
thanks.
yeah. And then I went on like Spotify, like just to like try to, like, I had such a hard time figuring out how to use Spotify, but I like really I had to sign up for like the free trial just to like listen to your music. Like, you made me download Spotify basically.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, in the future, now that you're on the text message, I'll deliver the song right to you. So,
yeah.
And
Thank you.
you're
doing
gonna
fan service. You're understanding people.
Yeah, Spotify doesn't actually benefit us very much, to be honest. So it's actually better if I deliver the song to you and you come into my world. So
yeah, thank you so much. So there was a lot of things that like motivated this conversation, but
that's so cool to know. Yeah. Well, tell your friend I said hi. Send in your love.
Yeah. She's actually not. Never mind. Okay, peace out.
Hi, friend. I feel like she's in the room.
Hey, how the fuck did you know? You motherfucker. How are you catching all the signs that I'm like giving off? I'm like supposed to like make them covert and stuff. That's not cool.
I could feel her there.
Able to pick up on these social cues like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Secretly in there. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye. Much love.
Great week. Bye.
Bye.